Hello, welcome to the workshop. In the workshop today we're going to be taking a look at this, which is an 18 gauge brad nailer from Ryobi. That's coming up. So last year I reviewed the WorkZone 18 gauge brad nailer, which was an enormously successful video. Plenty of people have looked at that machine, and even 12 months on since making that video, it's still a nailer that I would recommend to anybody that is looking to get started. The Ryobi machine, on the other hand, is perhaps the next step up. This machine here was £130 from Amazon, but of course comes without the all-important battery. So this was a without battery option. Other packs that you'll find on Amazon range between £179 and £210, depending on the size and quantity of batteries included within the pack. Now in the box you get the nailer, instructions and a belt clip, plus a limited supply of brads. So the first question that we'll answer is, well, what does this machine take if you go to source more brad nails? Then you're looking for C1 series brad nails, and you can install brad nails as small as 15mm right the way up to 50mm in this particular machine, so it's super versatile in that respect. So let's have a quick look around the nailer itself. Here is where you fit the aforementioned belt clip, but I shan't be using that, so we'll put that to one side. The magazine is opened with a very simple clip, and you fit your brad nails in against the left hand side of the nail gun. The magazine has a really useful feature in that these indicators here show when you're out of nails. The battery fits very simply into the bottom. On top of the nail gun you have a very simple mechanism for clearing jams. This is much more straightforward on this device than the WorkZone unit I mentioned earlier. This wheel here enables you to fine-tune the depth of your nail. On the rear you have a dial which allows you to adjust the pressure that is pushed into the nail head in order to facilitate firing. I'll explain a little bit more of that when we come to do some test fires in a moment. There's a further switch in the base of the unit, and the purpose of this is to switch between single shot mode and continuous firing. Now the difference here is that in single shot mode a squeeze of the trigger is required for each nail. In continuous mode you can keep the trigger pulled up, and then subsequent depressions of the safety tip onto the workpiece will result in the nail gun firing. And the nailer is also equipped with a light. So pretty much the features that I've just described are common for all brad nailers of this type, but I thought it might be interesting just to explain a little bit about the Airstrike technology and what that means. So for many people, having a compressor with a nail gun attached is their sort of go-to nail or brad nailing option. Now what an Airstrike nailer tries to do is to replicate this. So in an Airstrike nailer what you're trying to do is to replicate this in something that's handheld, and the way it works is your battery powers a compressor, a small electric compressor that charges a cylinder, and then when you pull the trigger a piston essentially fires the nail into the piece of wood, and that's what you can hear when you hear the thing operate, and it's as simple as that. So there is another type of electric nailer that you'll see. They're often hobby nailers and relatively inexpensive compared to Airstrike or other more construction grade nailers, and they rely on an electric motor driving a flywheel which effectively then uses a hammer to strike a pin which then fires the nail into the timber. Okay, so in this case the nail is way too far below the surface of the wood. I mean, this might be okay, but I just like them just short so that you can get just a little bit of filler in. So I'll just rotate the wheel back, fire again. That's better, but it's still not enough. So I'm now going to go to the back of the machine and just dial down the chamber pressure. Okay, and that's just how I like it, just with the nail just clear of the surface. So what do I think of the Ryobi 18 gauge brad nailer? Well, it's become an essential tool in my workshop. I use this pretty much all the time. The most common use for me really is when I'm working quickly and gluing up material. I can use brad nails to hold pieces in place whilst the glue dries instead of clamps in many cases, and that speeds up workflow no end. But bear in mind that it doesn't come with a battery, and you'll either have to buy one separately or use one that you already have, taken from a drill driver or combi drill, that sort of thing. So features I like the access to the firing head on the WorkZone machine. It's very difficult. On this machine it's incredibly easy. I like the fine adjustment that you get in terms of combination of this adjustment here and the pressure adjustment at the back in order to get your nails finishing in just the right position on your workpiece. I think in terms of weight, like all nailers, they are quite weighty, and but this isn't too bad. This has got a 4 amp hour battery, and I think probably about a third of the weight comes from the battery in this case. So for the money, this is actually a very capable machine, bearing in mind that you will have to consider the cost of the battery as well. You can buy them from Amazon. They're frequently discounted, and from my perspective this is a tool that I would recommend. So take that as you want, and follow the affiliate link to this particular machine in the description below if you wish to buy one. But what about my WorkZone? Well, it still has a place. One of the things that this machine doesn't do is fire narrow crown staples, and this does. So I have both in my workshop. This one, brad nails, this one, narrow crown staples, and I have a happy workshop as a result. Now, these review videos are proving to be very popular, so if you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If there's anything that I've mentioned in the video that you vehemently disagree with, or you've got other comments you wish to make about brad nailers in general, then please leave them in the comment section below. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, then please hit the subscribe button as well, bell icon, so you can be notified of upcoming videos too. I do a mix of projects and tool reviews, and so if you like this sort of thing, there'll be some more content from me reviewing other tools in the coming weeks, and I wouldn't want you to miss out there. So subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, and just one last thing, I'm on Patreon, and I'd like to thank my new patrons whose names you'll see just here, and if you'd like to become one too, then there's a sign up link in the description below, and I'm glad to have you on board. No pressure, of course. So from the workshop, for now, cheerio.